Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. House of Representatives faults inauguration of Edo State House of Assembly, asks Inspector General of Police to shut complex as Senate committee moves to resolve dispute. President Buhari asks Fulani herdmen to ignore unauthorized order by a Northern Elders Forum to leave the southern part of the country. It says Nigerians are free to live anywhere in the country. Senate confirms Tanko Muhammad as substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria following his appointment by President Muhammadu Buhari. And U.S. judge sentences Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman to life in prison after finding him guilty of 10 charges. For more information on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, is confident that the appropriation bills will not suffer a setback as a result of any delay. Senator Lawan made the comment after he and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, had a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Villa today. The Senate President says the Executive and Legislature are on the same page on the matter, and returning the national budget fiscal cycle to a January to December one will be possible if the proposal gets to the National Assembly by September. He explains that the legislature will also collaborate to ensure a better approach is employed to address the current security situation in the country, as he insists that a proposed security summit will be held.
Well, I think there's nothing to worry us deeply. The budget itself is normally prepared by civil servants. The permanent secretaries, superintendent, and the directors do the work most of the time. I believe that we are still on course, and I believe that both the executive and the legislature are on the same page on this. We all desire and are prepared and determined to ensure that we pass the budget by the first or second week of December, by the grace of God, provided it is presented to us in September, end of September. We are going to collaborate and cooperate with the executive arm of government, work together to ensure that we find better approaches, improved paradigm to ensure that the current situation is addressed properly.
President Muhammadu Buhari today asked Nigerians to ignore the recent call by the Northern Elders Forum to Fulani herders, asking them to leave the southern part of the country. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says all citizens of Nigeria are free to move and live within any part of the country they please, whether or not they are originally from there. The statement says, quote, "No one has the right to ask anyone or group to depart from any part of the country, whether north, south, east or west. They have no one's authority to make such pronouncements." The polarizing role of the Northern Elders Forum and all those other groups dabbling into issues of security to score cheap political points has for long been a sore point in Nigeria's body politic, end of quote. The president also explains that his government is fully devoted to finding a lasting solution to the herder-farmers clashes in different parts of the country. In the meantime, the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association are seeking partnership with the Christian Association of Nigeria to combat the farmer-herders conflict in the country. The National Secretary of MACBAN says the group is kicking off several stakeholder engagements to resolve the problem. He was speaking during a courtesy visit to the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the nation's capital, Abuja. The Miyetti Allah leader also reaffirms the group's commitment to supporting the police in prosecuting the killers of the daughter of the leader of the Afenifere group, Mrs. Funke Olakuni.
The tragic killing of Mrs. Funke Olakuri, the daughter of Pa Robin Fasoranti, the leader of the Yoruba Sociocultural Group Afenifere, we have seen join other Nigerians from all walks of life to commiserate with the family. And we are also reaffirming our call on the police and other security agencies to do all they can to get to the roots of this disturbingly killing and ensure the diligent prosecution of any individual or group found to have had hand in the incident. We would, however, urge Nigerians to desist from politicizing the killings or dressing it in a cynic garb and allow security to do their work. So, as part of efforts to set the record straight, we have resolved to embark on a number of stakeholder engagements, which we are kicking off with the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria. We shall also be having a summit that will involve people from all walks of life, as well as multiple engagements, more especially with the media at various levels across the country.
The Senate today confirmed the appointment of Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed as Chief Justice of Nigeria. This confirmation comes less than 1 week after the President forwarded his name to the National Assembly for screening. At the process, Justice Tanko Mohammed asked the legislature to review the criminal laws of the country to make provisions for stiffer penalties that will deter criminals. Our correspondent Terry Ikumi reports.
Lawmakers in the Senate chamber seated and ready for the main business of the day, which is the screening of Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed for confirmation as Chief Justice of Nigeria. But before he's admitted into the chamber, the Senate dissolves into the Committee of the Whole and goes into a closed-door session. About 15 minutes later, when the doors are opened, Justice Tanko Mohammed is ushered in, accompanied by Supreme Court justices, former senators, and the Senior Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on National Assembly matters, Ita Enang. Justice Mohammed is ushered to his stand, and the questions, suggestions, and commendations begin.
The country is in very serious trouble, and we all know. And we see the court as the institution that will help us to be able to navigate out of the difficulties we are in today. I want to hear your views on how, going forward, what assurances you give to us that the laws that we passed here will be interpreted based on our own intendment.
In responding, Justice Tanko Mohammed charges the lawmakers on stronger legislation that will tackle corruption and insecurity.
If need be, we take a holistic look at our criminal laws. Let us amend them. It is the responsibility of the legislature to see that it sanitizes the society.
He calls for financial autonomy of the legislature to avoid exposing the judiciary to corruption.
What is keeping the judiciary aback is the lack of autonomy, especially the financial autonomy. We are not asking for anything more than what is provided for us in the budget.
We must ensure that the judiciary is also properly remunerated. If we are asking our judges to be above board, we should also play our part.
Satisfied with the process, the Senate proceeds with the confirmation.
Will the Senate approve the confirmation of the nomination of Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed for appointment as the Chief Justice of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Tanko Mohammed's confirmation comes almost 6 months after he was first appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari as the Chief Justice of Nigeria in acting capacity. Some of the tasks ahead of him would be to ensure a reduction in congestion of cases in court. He would also need to protect the laws of the country and that of the independence of the judiciary as one of the 3 arms of government. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
The Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal has ordered the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, and the resident electoral commissioner in Zamfara State to comply with the order mandating the commission to provide some documents to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and his party. At the resumed hearing of the petition filed by Mr. Atiku Abubakar and his party, the PDP, today, lawyer to the petitioners claimed that the electoral body is denying them access to some documents needed to prove their case. The People's Democratic Party and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar have called 58 witnesses, and they claim that the documents required from the Independent National Electoral Commission are fundamental to their case. The lawyer to the petitioners applauded the decision of the tribunal, as the chairman of the tribunal adjourned further hearing to July the 18th. And the Independent National Electoral Commission is promising that it will deliver more effective logistics for the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states. At a roundtable organized by the Electoral Institute in Abuja, the electoral body explained that the review sessions will tackle most of the challenges experienced during the 2019 general elections. Participants were drawn from the civil society organizations and the academia. The Nigeria police authorities have announced the restriction of all protests in the nation's capital, Abuja, to the Unity Fountain in the Central Business District to ensure the safety of lives and property, free flow of traffic, and protection of economic activities. The Inspector General of Police says all intending protesters should steer clear of all critical national infrastructure, especially the three-armed zone and other sensitive security areas during their protests. A statement from the Force Public Relations Officer, Frank Mba, explains that the restriction is sequel to a series of protests such as the one on October the 30th, 2018, and that of July the 9th, when members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria clashed with security operatives at the National Assembly. When the news at 10 returns, the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit sign agreements to tackle fraudulent transactions on the capital market. That's coming up on Business News. Please join us again.